Right, the first question I was going to ask you about the smoking ban's effect on the whole industry, the bingo halls.
The whole industry, since the ban came in, I'm talking specifically in Scotland, has been absolutely destroyed. It's been decimated. The first 6 months of the ban, personally, I was 35% down. 2 years after the ban, 2 years and a bit, I'm now 57% of the business gone.
God.
Huge amount, right. Now, the reality of that is there used to be 84 licensed bingo clubs in Scotland, and there's now 62 left out of 84. 22 have bit the dust.
And that's in what time scale?
Over the 2 year period, most of the casualties were in the first 18 months, believe it or not. 18 months, most of the casualties gone. The reality of where we are now, John, is the bingo halls in Scotland, the 62 that's left, more than 40% of them, this is just my opinion, more than 40% of them are in the same position as I am, and they're almost bankrupt. Doors ready to close. Devastating.
How many bingo halls are independents as such and not part of the big mecca type stuff?
That's a tough one, John, to be honest with you, because the number of clubs is licensed bingo clubs, John, and this is the key one, licensed bingo clubs. A lot of small social clubs play bingo, but they're not a licensed bingo club. Galas and meccas, I'm going to guess here at the figures, John, I'm going to say in the UK, pre-ban would have had something around 450, and that's a guess figure. In Scotland, Gala and Mecca, to the best of my knowledge, have only lost about 4, I think, out of the 22. So it is the small independents that have had the hardest.
Yeah, well, you've got something in common there with the pubs. Now, pubs, the small independents, they're the ones that are getting hit. The big pubcos, they're the ones that said at the very beginning they were all for the ban.
That's right.
Because I think that it suited them.
Yep.
It suited them because if the little ones go under, they can always buy them up and be part of it. Now, the same scenario can be said about the bingo halls.
That's right.
Isn't it?
Very, very similar, because once the clubs start to close, there is a percentage of people that want to play bingo somewhere else. So if the small guy goes, small part of them may go to the big boy. One of the problems, John, you probably won't understand this. Let me try and explain this to you. The reason why the bingo industry was hit the hardest, and incidentally the first, there's a very good reason for that. Pubs, you go in, you buy a pint, you've bought your product. You then go outside for a cigarette, but you've still bought the product. When that product's finished, you go back in and buy another one, and then step outside. Okay? Mm-hmm. The bingo industry is totally different, because while we're playing the game of bingo itself, there is zero profit or very little profit. Right? What keeps bingo clubs afloat is before the bingo, in the middle of the bingo, which they call an interval, and at the end of the bingo. That's when people play fruit machines, mini cash, spend in the catering, the barn, whatever the case may be. So when the ban came in, when we are playing bingo, everyone is seated in the hall. When we have an interval, half your audience get up and leave.
They'll come back.
Well, they're outside, fag, and they don't come back until bingo's starting again. That's what crippled us. It destroyed us, because we were taking, I used to have 15 fruit machines. We were taking £2,000 a week out of these 15 fruit machines. The ban came in at halved, right? And the reason why it halved was because at the interval, where people would normally spend, they're going outside. That was the killer. So our business was unique, and we got hit the hardest in the shortest period. We got destroyed, and I could show you figures, John, you wouldn't believe. I'll show you the week before the ban, the week after the ban. Yeah. And the income just goes down the toilet. The admissions were roughly the same, but it was the income that got devastated. Yeah. And then gradually over a period, the non-smokers stopped playing because less and less people were going. The prize money goes down. And the smokers just thought, fuck this, I'm not standing outside like a second-class leper when I can sit in the house and smoke and maybe go online. And that's what happened to bingo.
So, apart from the bingo itself, have you noticed a knock-on effect by your providers that provide these machines? Have they been saying anything to you about their profits going down?
Yeah, because what happens is, John, if you look here, I've got 5 machines, and 2 years ago I had 15. I lease my machines, so my machine supplier got 10 machines sent back. He loses rental on that. They've been destroyed as well because they supply pubs, clubs. As pubs close, they lose the fruit machine. Quite recently, the owner of our fruit machine department told me that 2 years ago, pub A would maybe have 2 fruit machines. Now he has 1.
Yeah.
Pub G would have, like me, 15 fruit machines. Now only has 3. So they have also been hit with this. The thing goes, it goes quite heavy, John, because I'll tell you, we didn't have any catering here. We were quite unique. We didn't have catering. I had vending machines. I had a vending machine for sweets, crisps and juice. I had a vending machine for tea and coffee. I used to take £250 a week out of the machines. When the band came in, again, remember your clientele is outside at the interval. They're not buying tea and coffee. They're not buying crisps and Mars bars. My machine income now is £50 a week.
So it's a hefty.
Hit every corner you got hit on. Every one of them.
How are you managing to survive now, then?
I'm very fortunate, John, because I'm quite financially astute. So luckily I don't have a mortgage. Right? I don't have any debt. My cars are paid for. I wouldn't say I'm comfortable, but I'm okay. So I don't need a big living to get by. But how I'm surviving is basically we're surviving on savings and tax rebates. And it's as simple as that.
So you're actually eating into your savings?
Yeah. We're actually spending, the last 2 years, we've actually put our own money into this club to keep it open.
It's not a good situation, is it?
There's no point. There's no point.
Another knock-on effect. This is what personally I've been told. Not here, nothing to do with bingo halls, but taxis. The odd taxis I've got into, they've said that they have noticed a difference in trade on the weekends, on a night time.
Yep.
You know, when they all go to the clubs and whatever. And I was just wondering, how many people come to your club via taxi, and have you ever spoke to any taxi drivers that could tell you that they're...
I've spoke to many taxi drivers, and they don't give you percentages because taxis don't work that way. You just say how's business and they say shit.
Yeah.
This club, John, because we're out in what we call the sticks, right? We're not in a city. There's a terrible bus service, so 30% of my clientele is relying on taxis.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's another knock-on effect.
There you go. So the taxi drivers have been hit because my business is 57% down. So therefore, less taxis, less people coming back and forward. Case of that. So they've been hit.
So do you think that the taxi drivers might just put their prices up then?
I think the taxi drivers, especially the small ones, John, I think they're actually, if they had a fleet of 10 cars, have now got 3.
Yeah. So they just cut down themselves rather than put the prices up and do themselves out of customers.
That's right.
I was thinking of that and thinking of yourself. Maybe you should put your prices down. Would that help you get any more business in?
No.
Does it work that way?
No, it doesn't, unfortunately. Bingo is very simple, John, right? The more people you have playing, the higher the prize money. The less people, the less the prize money. If you drop the price and you have the same number of people, they play for less prize money. It doesn't work.